Picture this: a child, barely old enough to ride a bike alone, standing over a body, knife in hand, blood pooling at their feet. Not just once, but again and again. What turns a kid into a killer? Not just a murderer, but a serial killer. And what happens when that child, still too young to drive, gets locked away with the most dangerous monsters society has to offer? That's what we're diving into today. Welcome to a journey you won't forget. A chilling look at America's youngest serial killers. Kids who shocked the nation, shattered lives, and now rot behind bars. We're talking about names that'll stick with you. Harvey Miguel Robinson, just 17, hunting women in the dead of night. Jesse Pomeroy, a 14-year-old terror straight out of a Victorian nightmare. Curtis Fairchild Jones, only 12, plotting death with his own sister. Michael Hernandez, another 14-year-old, dreaming of blood-soaked fame. And Craig Price, a monster by 13, leaving entire families in pieces. These aren't just stories, they're real. Kids who crossed a line most of us can't even imagine. And here's the kicker. One of them was just 12 years old when it all began. And the last, he'll leave you questioning everything you know about evil. Stick with me. We're peeling back their lives, their crimes, and the prisons that hold them. You'll hear the moments that'll make your skin crawl, and maybe even make you wonder, could this happen to anyone? So, hit that like button if you're ready to dive in, smash subscribe if you're brave enough to stick around, and drop a comment at the end. Tell me which of these cases chills you to your core. Let's get started, because trust me, you're not ready for what's coming. Case 1. Harvey Miguel Robinson, the teenage predator. Imagine a quiet town in the 1990s. Allentown, Pennsylvania. Kids riding bikes, families asleep. And then him, Harvey Miguel Robinson. At 17, he was just another high school kid by day, blending in, smiling, unnoticed. But by night, he became a predator, a living nightmare stalking the streets. This isn't some horror movie. This is real, and it's about to get worse. Let's rewind a bit. Harvey didn't start out like this, or did he? Picture a normal childhood. Single mom, decent grades, nothing too strange. But then, a crack appeared. A family tragedy. His dad's arrest for manslaughter hit him hard. Something flipped. Suddenly, this teenage boy wasn't just angry. He was hungry. Hungry for control, for power, for something dark he couldn't name. Ever wonder what pushes someone over that edge? Stick around, because Harvey's about to show us. Summer, 1992. A 29-year-old woman, alone in her home, doesn't hear him coming. Harvey's been watching her. Days, maybe weeks. He breaks in, rapes her, strangles her, leaves her body like it's nothing. 8 months later, a 15-year-old girl. Same story, same silence, same end. Then, a 47-year-old grandmother. 3 women, 3 lives, all gone in a year. He didn't just kill, he hunted. Stalked them with a precision that'd make your blood run cold. How does a 17-year-old even learn that? Here's the thing, he almost got away with it. Almost. One night, he tries again. A 5th victim. She fights back, escapes, and suddenly, Harvey's perfect little game unravels. Can you imagine that moment? Her running, him realizing it's over. June 1993. Police swarm in. They catch him. 19 now, still a teen, but with eyes that don't flinch. Trial's quick, brutal. Death row by 19. Pennsylvania's ready to end him, but then, twist, juvenile sentencing laws kick in. Death becomes life without parole. Today he's still there, locked in a cell, cold as the day they caught him. No apologies, no tears, just nothing. Ever met someone who feels like they've got no soul? That's Harvey, and he was just getting started at 17. You're probably wondering, how does a kid turn into this? Hold that thought, because our next killer, he takes us way back, to a time when evil wore a younger face. Don't go anywhere, this only gets darker. Case 2. Jesse Pomeroy, the boy fiend. Step into 1870s Boston. Gas lamps flicker, Cobblestones echo with horse hooves, and a 14-year-old boy becomes the stuff of dark legends. His name, Jesse Pomeroy. Not a man, not even a teen in today's eyes, just a kid. But don't let that fool you, because what he did, it's the kind of evil that lingers, the kind parents whispered about to scare their children straight. This isn't just a story, it's a descent into a nightmare. Let's start with the boy himself. Jesse wasn't born into a fairy tale. His dad, a drunk who beat him bloody, whippings that left scars you could see and ones you couldn't. Then there was his eye, milky, deformed, a target for every bully in South Boston. By 11, he was different. Not just quiet, not just angry. He was cruel. Little animals started disappearing, then turning up in pieces. Ever wonder what makes a kid snap like that? Was it the pain? Or something deeper? Something rotten from the start? Hold on to that question. By 1872, Jesse is 12 and he's not stopping at animals anymore. He lures younger kids, boys, girls, some as young as 4, into alleys, to the docks, anywhere quiet. He ties them up, beats them, cuts them, laughs while they scream. Boston calls him a menace, locks him in reform school. But 18 months later, he's out, and he's worse. April 1874, a 10-year-old girl, Katie Curran, vanishes. They find her later, slashed, mutilated, stuffed under a shop counter. Then, Horace Millen, just 4 years old, stabbed, carved up, left by the marshes. Picture that, a 14-year-old boy grinning over a toddler's body. How do you even process that? He didn't just kill, he savored it, and he wasn't done until he slipped. Summer, 1874. Jesse can't help himself. He brags. To neighbors, to cops, about how clever he is. They catch him. Red-handed, smug, 14 years old, and already a monster. Trial's fast. Death penalty's on the table, but he's too young, or so they say. Instead, life in solitary, starting at 14. A tiny cell, no light, no hope. Decades stretch on, 50 years, until he dies in 1932, still locked away. Can you imagine that life? A boy fiend, growing old in chains, never sorry, never changed. Boston called him the boy fiend for a reason. He was evil in a child's skin. Feeling that chill yet? Jesse's just the beginning. Our next killer. A modern twist. Siblings, secrets, and a plan that'll make your stomach turn. Don't look away. It's about to get real. Case 3. Curtis Fairchild Jones, the sibling killer. 1999, Florida. The air's thick with humidity and something darker. Meet Curtis Fairchild Jones, 12 years old, barely taller than the gun he's holding. He didn't act alone, though. His partner, his 13-year-old sister, Catherine. Together they hatched a plot so twisted, it seared into the state's memory. 2 kids, 1 deadly plan. Florida would never forget what came next. Their world wasn't sunshine and beaches. Curtis and Catherine grew up in chaos. A trailer home, a dad who couldn't stay straight, and relatives who ruled with fists and screams. Abuse wasn't a one-off. It was their normal. In that mess, they had each other. 2 kids clinging tight, whispering in the dark, turning pain into rage. Ever had someone you'd do anything for? For Curtis, that was Catherine. And that bond, it was about to turn lethal. January 6th, 1999. Their dad's girlfriend, Sonia Spites, 28, steps into the wrong house at the wrong time. Curtis grabs a 9mm. Catherine's right there with him. They don't hesitate. 1 shot, then another. Sonia's down, blood soaking the floor. But here's the kicker. She wasn't the only target. They had a list. Dad, a cousin, anyone who'd crossed them. They wanted a massacre, but the gun jammed, the plan faltered, and the siblings ran. Picture that. 2 kids, calm as death, plotting a slaughter like it's a game. How does that even happen? They don't get far. Neighbors hear the shots. Cops swoop in. Curtis is 12, Catherine 13, America's youngest ever charged as adults for murder. Courtrooms a circus. Tears, gasps, disbelief. They get 18 years each. Curtis serves his time, Walks free in 2015, 29 years old now. Where's he at today? No one's saying much. Quiet, off the grid. Free, but carrying that day forever. Was it revenge or something colder? One kill, a dozen questions. What drives kids that young to pull a trigger? Don't blink. Our next case ups the stakes, and it's a gut punch you won't see coming. Case 4. Michael Hernandez, the wannabe Bundy. February 2004, Miami. The sun's blazing, kids are laughing, until one of them picks up a knife. Michael Hernandez was 14, just a freshman meets SouthFlorida.com middle schooler by day, wannabe serial killer by dream. He wanted to be the next Ted Bundy, and he started with his best friend. This isn't some distant tale. This is a kid who turned a school bathroom into a slaughterhouse. Buckle up. This one's personal. Michael wasn't the kid you'd peg for this. Quiet, smart, straight A student. Teachers loved him. But behind those eyes, a secret boiling. He was obsessed, consumed by killers like Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer. He filled journals with plans, names, dates, a roadmap to murder. Ever known someone who seemed too perfect? Michael hid his darkness so well, it'll make you question everyone. February 3rd, 2004. South Miami Middle School. Michael lures his best friend, Jaime Guff, 14, trusting, clueless, into a bathroom stall. 40 stab wounds later, Jaime's gone, blood everywhere, and Michael. He walks out like it's nothing. He wanted more, confessed to plotting a spree, idolizing his heroes. Your best friend, could you ever imagine? That betrayal cuts deep, and his voice on tape, so calm, so proud, it'll haunt you. Cops nab him fast, knife still on him, no denying it. Trial's a shockwave, 14 years old, life without parole. He's in prison by 2008. A kid among men, unrepentant, dies there in 2021, still dreaming of fame, still empty. No remorse, just ambition. A teen with a killer's blueprint, snuffed out behind bars. Feeling that sting yet? Michael's only the warm-up. Our last case. The youngest terror yet. It's about to hit harder than you think. Stay with me. Case 5. Craig Price, the Warwick slasher. 1987, Warwick, Rhode Island. Most 13-year-olds are trading baseball cards or sneaking comics. Craig Price. He's gripping a knife and ending lives. This isn't a kid playing tough. This is Rhode Island's darkest secret. A boy who turned quiet streets into a slaughterhouse. He's our last stop. And trust me, he's the one you'll never shake. Craig's world was no picnic. Rough streets, a home that shifted like quicksand, parents fighting, money tight. By 10, he's scrapping in school, fists flying, eyes wild. Then comes the blood. Not just a fascination, a fixation. Cuts, scratches, anything red. It pulls him in. Ever known a kid who seemed off, just a little too rough? Craig was that kid, times 100. And at 13, he stopped pretending. September 1st, 1987. Joan Heaton, 27, alone in her house. Craig's watched her, knows her routine. He breaks in, stabs her 58 times. 58. Her body's a map of rage. Overkill doesn't even cover it. 2 years later, he's 15, and he's hungrier. July 27th, 1989. Joan Robinson, 35, and her daughters, Jennifer, 10, and Melissa, 8. He slits their throats, stabs until the walls scream red. A mom and her little girls, gone. And Craig, calm, brutal, like it's just another day. Can you even picture that? A teenager, wiping out a family, no flinch, no tears. He can't keep quiet, though. Brags to friends, taunts the cops, thinks he's untouchable. They nab him in 89, 15 years old, smirking in cuffs. Sentenced to 25 years. But he's still in there. March 2025. Pushing 50. Still a menace. Fights. Threats. No reform. One of the youngest killers ever locked up. And he's not done haunting us. The Warwick Slasher. A name that sticks like blood on a blade. The youngest of all. and maybe the coldest. How does a kid become this? Chew on that, because we're wrapping up and it's about to get real. 5 kids, 5 nightmares. Harvey Robinson, 17, stalking Allentown's nights. Jesse Pomeroy, 14, carving terror into Boston's history. Curtis Jones, just 12, pulling a trigger with his sister. Michael Hernandez, 14, betraying his best friend for a killer's dream. And Craig Price, 13, sealing this nightmare with blood-soaked hands. From 12 to 17, they shattered innocence, left bodies and questions in their wake. Craig's the capstone, the youngest, the coldest, the one who makes you wonder, how? Let's sit with this. Were they born bad, evil stitched into their bones, or broken, crushed by homes, fists, hate, until something snapped? Could society have saved them? A teacher, a neighbor, a chance? Or is there a line, thin, invisible, where a kid turns monster and no one sees it coming? Look at your own life, your brother, your cousin, that quiet classmate. Could it be them? Could it be anyone? That's the chill that lingers, the what-ifs that don't let go. So which case keeps you up at night? Harvey's hunt, Jesse's glee, Curtis and his sister, Michael's betrayal, Craig's calm? Drop it in the comments. I'm reading everyone. Hit that like if this hits you hard. Subscribe if you're hooked on these twisted tales. Next time, maybe kids who killed and vanished. Stick around, you won't want to miss it. Until then, sleep tight.